Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at AGLD, seeing what's going on with this guy. I got a lot of requests for this one here recently, but mainly from one of our newest community members here, of course, Providence71. Thank you so much for the request. He did join our premium group here, so congrats again to our current community members here. We got 46% from BSV. That's a short we just took a couple days ago, as well as an Algorand long from 27%, roughly a day and a half ago. And there's a pretty large list here of other coins too as well. KNC, if I recall correctly, Solana, Injective, ZRX, that was a nice short. A lot of cool little options there, of course. Some fun things to be able to kind of share with my community because I trade and share all of my trades with you, and they're fully automated through our Cornix subscription if you're considering that. Link down below, all the descriptions are there. If you want to jump on over to our Discord, Telegram, or Twitter, check that out as well. That's all linked down below. So if you want to understand what to do with Fibonacci retracement levels, I get the question a lot, how do you set them? There's really, in a lot of ways, there's no wrong way to do it in truth, because oftentimes it gives you a very consistent result. But the idea is to do the most recent high to most recent low, and this gives us good potential on resistance levels, because it's, again, taking the most recent high to the most recent low, and then allowing for this to effectively bend the bottom. So right around 5.2 cents is the bottom, at least in this most recent downtrend. Okay. In the last 2 days, it's pushed really hard, really fast, and it's pretty nice. I mean, look at this. In 3 days total, we're up 51% bottom to top. That's pretty good growth. So is it going to sustain? Is it going to continue? Let's find out. Take a look at the RSI, of course. We are peaking up over 70 in the RSI. That's one of those common places where the price will reject in a lot of cases. So oftentimes when you see the RSI hitting 70, it'll effectively return down from there. Is that going to happen here? Not exactly. We still got to look at a few other key factors, but it's oftentimes a resistance. And if we take a look at AGLD here, you can kind of see that there's 3 instances, this being the third, where the RSI has hit 70 and turned itself around. So it hit 70 right here on this day here, hit 70 here, and it's hitting 70 right here. So as a result of it hitting 70 on the RSI, 2 out of 3, again, 3 is today effectively the potential third scenario. Is it going to continue to regress or digress from here? Okay. Or is it going to blast off and continue upwards? That's what we want to find out. So again, those are some factors here, some similarities you need to recognize. Previously, when it went that far up, it was also converging on the MACD here pretty strong. And the same thing here as well. In other words, the price was already moving upwards and a good upward momentum when it did that previously. So again, those things do change. That does change the scenario a little bit. That being said, though, we take a look, we're up over RSI is good, MACD is good, moving averages are good. These are all positive signs here. Okay? So by no means am I just saying the price is going to drop because it hit 70 on the RSI. Do not take that away from this conversation. So taking a look quickly at the 4-hour time frame. What we want to look at here would be to say if there's any potential liquidity from before or fair value. Previous fair value gap has been filled, and we have some newer ones forming. Those are pretty small though. When it comes to chart patterns here, we had a falling wedge breakout. So when the price action continued to hit lower highs and lower lows, it inevitably broke through that and continued higher. So a lot of times you can kind of draw trend lines here and then see once it breaks through that descending trend, it's officially either range bound or ascending positively. In this case, it just hasn't looked back at all. Okay, so that's a good sign. But if we take a look at TD sequential here, this is where things get kind of interesting. We hit a 9 here previously, right at this resistance level at 0.236 at 6 cents even. Price blasted off from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we have 9 extra candles. So we've literally gone, a total of 72 hours of continuation without correction. Okay? More often than not, when you go 72 hours in a row, basically 2 full overextensions, you're going to see the price action pull back, okay? Which is doing right now already. This could be the extent of the pullback, though. You got to keep in mind, this is a pretty decent amount. It's pulled back already 3.5%, almost 4%. So that my speculation here is that the price action is going to start to consolidate in this area and potentially leg up or down from here. Okay, obviously, big surprise, right? It's going to go up or down. I know. Stay with me here though on this one because again, there's a lot of different factors in play. So when we look at most everything, what we want to look at mostly too, to me, is volume. We'll zoom out a little bit and kind of see where the total amount of volume is averaged out. Of course, it's going to be down here at about 5.7. That makes sense because we spent a lot of time in this lower range. But in the last, say a rough estimate of it's about roughly 1 month's worth of trading right here. In the last 1 month, we have the most amount of volume at 6.1. So if the price does pull back, it may not pull back that aggressive because we don't have a ton of volume here yet. but there's a likelihood we could see the price action bounce. Okay, so if we take a look, there is no official Elliott wave start here. We had a most recent, you can see a most recent play out there where we got their ABC pattern. There hasn't been a new continuation here. So just know in typical trading, just normally just say that we had, this is the beginning of an Elliott wave potential swing. We can see that in most cases what happens is the price action will pull back to 0.618, 0.5, or 0.382. And those are three consistent areas in which prices will pull back and essentially bounce. If we take that and combine that with volume, obviously we want to zoom out just a little bit here so we get a little bit better of an average. In the last month, again, we have a lot of volume right here. So it makes a ton of sense for the price action to bounce off that 0.5 level, that halfway mark, right there at about 0.686. Okay? So my money is on the price pulling back to that level and then just bouncing from there and continuing higher. Because again, for Elliott wave, it does a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? In other words, it establishes 3 higher highs and 2 higher lows. And it's typically followed by a lower low here, a lower high, and then a lower low. This one is always lower than this one here. Okay, so again, you can kind of see that having played out previously, and just note that we could very well see a similar pattern here, only over here as well. Okay, so to me, the way that things are looking here, we got a pretty strong resistance there at about 8.5. If the price does wick up even further, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever to average your price up to that level, and then to consider a short down to this 0.5 or 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. So to me, those are some areas to kind of pay attention to and to focus on. Last thing to look at would be the hourly. We can also see here as well, we're hitting a 7 on TD sequential. Previously hit a 9, overextended for about another 9 or 10 hours. Price goes sideways for a short while and then up again. So this is not my tried and true healthy staircase pattern. A good trader, or sorry, not trader, a good trade, in other words, a good coin to trade on, is one that's doing this right here, kind of stepping up and coming over consistently. It doesn't have to work out exactly like that, but you can see this one is somewhat of an escalator and not a staircase, and escalators have a tendency of dropping pretty hard. Okay, so just know there's a lot of money coming into this coin, and it could very well sustain a tremendous amount of volume that just spiked up here a moment ago. But the truth is, it's overextended on all time frames. So again, one overextension is one thing, but if you have 2, 3, 4, the more you have in a row, the more likely the price is to pull back. And granted, the way that this coin has worked in its past, every time it comes up over 70 on the RSI, it pulls back. Again, we only took two sample sizes. Truth is, you look back here, it hit 70 right here and only pulled back a little bit. Okay, so I'm not presuming that the price is going to drop down to the 4 or 3 cent range. I don't think that's likely. Has a lot of momentum. But I do think a minor pullback to the halfway point, 0.5, 0.618, that would make a ton of sense. Okay. So again, if you're going to consider shorting to that level, low position size, low leverage, if you're going to take a long at that level, I would say the very similar situation. Again, that just works very well for me over the years. I've been trading successfully for a very long time. And in that time, using smaller position sizes and not going too aggressive makes a ton of sense. Yes, there's some folks you're going to see that are going to make a ton of money on some amazing trades, and that's perfectly fine. 100x, you do you. I personally do not like getting liquidated and getting all my entire amount of whatever my trade was totally disappear into thin air. That sucks so bad. So I'd much rather have a lot of small successful trades than one massive big one. Okay, and if you're going to have a big trade, just continue to add to your spot bag on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those coins are going to be pretty massive here in a few years, but between now and then, survive to trade another day. All right, I hope that made sense for you. Jump on over to our Twitter, Telegram, or Discord if you would like to kind of help follow the channel, help grow the channel. Greatly appreciate it. I have play out charts, of course, that look a little something like this, where you can kind of see where the price action may go next, and just generally help you understand big picture. So that's the whole point, is to learn and grow together. And if you want part of that, jump on over to our Crypto Cash Premium group, link down below. Quick heads up, we are starting to limit the amount of users that can join. Not like a bad disqualification thing, but more so just making sure that we have good integrity in our group. We have a good one-on-one potential for you and I to be able to work together. Okay, so again, awesome stuff there. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Appreciate the request. Again, Providence71. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.